So fishing season is winding down, which it's been a fun year, been a crazy year, but I always look forward to the off season. And hey, it's deer season now, but it'll be a couple weeks before I'm actually in a tree. But we're just making the last minute preparations before I hit the road again for another cup event. And this is a last minute deal, but this is actually my last minute spot right here behind the house. Kind of a neat little setup I've got, but I've got a cedar tree here that I put a stand in last year, and I've gotten lazy in my old age and smarter and wiser. I quit taking the tree stands down, but what I do every year, I do come and take the safety ropes out and the bow ropes and extra straps, all that. So one thing I'm very adamant about is putting a safety rope in there. Obviously, the first time I climb it, I've got a different type of belt I use to climb the tree and be as safe as I possibly can. But I did this, cliff pace, you kind of bring the story up, but I had met enough people throughout the years traveling the country that had fallen out of tree stands, and it's something that I took pretty seriously. I actually spent about I want to say $1,000 one year buying nothing but safety ropes, and I bought I want to say probably 25 of these safety ropes. But kind of the new rule for me is I've got one of these safety ropes that go in every tree with me. So I go and I put this in the tree. That way I have my harness on, I clip into this Prusik knot, and that way when it comes hunting time, you know, whether I fall asleep, get excited, something breaks in the moment of truth, I'm tethered to the tree. And this thing is a lifesaver. I've met too many people that have fallen out of trees and been in wheelchairs. Cliff Pace was a good example of that. He fell out of a tree and was hurt really, really bad. And yeah, I just don't want to have that happen. I hate to see it to happen to people. So here we are. We're going to put this in the tree and put a couple straps in, a bow rope, and this spot will be ready to hunt when I come home. Every time I go up in a tree when I'm deer hunting, I always have on a harness, and you know, it should be mandatory, and they love to hook on vines. But I always do this obviously when I'm hunting before I leave the truck. But here, just because
it's because you don't have to get in the truck.
Yeah, so we're gonna put this one on, but I won't actually be using this one right off the bat. And this thing actually has a rope I could use for it, but that's just too much work here for me. I know some people would argue with me that cedar trees are dangerous and all that, but I absolutely love them. I've had very good luck with them. Now, obviously, anything you got to be super careful about. Actually, last year, one of my buddies was hunting out of one of my stands with one of my screw-in steps, and the step actually broke. So it's always important. I believe they teach you to always have 3 points of contact whenever you're climbing. That way, if one were to slip, you still have contact. So this is my little one I use just when I'm climbing. But whenever I put this safety rope in a tree as well, I've always got somebody here. God forbid if something were to happen, I've got some immediate attention for some help if need be. So,
because the only time the whole season when you're not really tied to the tree getting in and out of it is when you're hanging your safety stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The only time that I'm not tethered in coming off the ground is this initial trek up the tree to start the season,
first climb,
and when I take it down at the end of the year. But this keeps everything safe. You know, these ropes, if I leave them in the trees, the squirrels chew on them. You know, straps, you know, the padding in the seats, the squirrels will chew on. So I take all this stuff down. But so we got that. We're going to hang that. I always put an extra ratchet strap in the tree just because, you know, I've heard of guys having straps break on, you know, the actual strap break on them. So it's just insurance, safety. I want to fish next year, not be cooped up. So that, a bow rope, and time to climb. I'm kind of excited about this spot because I hung it last year and it's literally 150 yards from the house, but you can see it looks pretty exciting back here. But really what's exciting about this spot, as you probably saw in an earlier vlog, is right on the other side of this fence I've got a half-acre food plot I put in. We finally got some rain. It's starting to green up, so when I come back in a couple weeks, it might be prime spot. So here it is. We're all settled in. You can see I got my safety rope here. Got my nice Prusik knot with my harness attached here. And we got the stand good to go. And there's Bobby way down there, about 20 feet down. So, but like I said, you can see my new food plot out here. It's the highest spot on the whole property right here. So I've kind of got a really cool view. If nothing else, it's kind of a fun place to watch the sunrise and sunset, and hopefully here in a couple weeks there'll be a big monster buck right down there, or right down there on the edge of my food plot. So can't wait. So there it is. I'm all settled in. You can see my harness is clipped into my safety rope up here, so even if the tree stand were to break or fall out or anything, we're good to go. Got my extra strap in there. And as you can see, the view behind me is just pretty amazing. It's the highest point on our property. And so there it is. I'm still tethered in. That way, if I were to fall, get a little snuggy down here, but overall, I'll be safe. I might get a little bruised up, but I'm not gonna be hitting the ground. So that's what I want. I want that insurance. That way, early in the morning, late in the evenings, if it's snowy or icy or in the moment of truth, we're safe, got everything good to go. So next time I come back here, I'll have a bow in my hand and hopefully a big deer to shoot. So let's get out of here. Oh, maybe.